kokoyama kakaya
Well,
yama.
usually it does.
Pokoama latiama kakai shikutona kakai. Alanteama kokoyama kakaya pakakoyama.
Well,
Ashiki abokuama
just so you
ikiama.
know,
Balateama lateama kokoyama kakai.
just so
Bayeta
you know.
kakai.
Oh, this goes in here too.
Balateama kakai shikitiama kokoyama. Alateama kokoyama.
So
Pokuama
did you say
ichiku.
that this does not work for you? Like this, the mount wasn't working for you?
It's just challenging to use. Hello, whoever's here. Welcome to our live. Pokola makakai, kikiama kokola makakai.
Well, if you think it's
Ashikitiama
not that great, I
kokoyama.
mean, we could send it back to TikTok, you know.
Okay. Yeah, it's just challenging to use, but we can talk about that a different time.
Yeah, I've been finding the same thing with like, did you try putting it on your visor?
Yes, that's where I've been having it, but it keeps
Oh,
moving and then it hits my hands and
really?
it's hard to move that wheel.
Did you try it in your new car?
No, I'm gonna try it first, but
Okay.
I'm just saying right now it's not working.
I'm looking
But maybe
forward to
it'll
like,
magically work when it's in my
yeah,
car.
I'm looking forward to like a tour of your new car. I think you should do a YouTube video and give us a tour.
After when I've cleansed it, put in an altar and like, made it mine, yes. The kiddos were gonna help me do that, but I think they'll help me do it when I come back with them and they'll add their touch to it.
I haven't
I
even seen
definitely
it.
I definitely want to add a picture of them, like all three of us in the car, and maybe of somebody else too
Oh yeah,
in my car. Yeah.
interesting.
hmm
It's
And
very.
the phrase of the month, which is, um, I allow my higher self to create. I'm gonna put that in there and make a cute little altar somewhere. As long as it's
Mm.
not like shaking, shifting around. That's what I want to do. Make it my own.
I have to
Nice and
get like
cozy.
a car cleaning. Like I think we're gonna be done with like the pollen. I think we're done with the pollen.
I
So
think so. All of the pollen literally exploded at the same time.
yeah, so like we had a massive rainstorm today, and it's been getting lesser. And hey, Jack, what's going on? Are you into history? Like what kind of history? Um, I've noticed that it's getting less and less, but like there's a lot of pollen in my car. In my car.
Inside your physical car, there's a lot of
Yeah,
pollen.
yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
like dust and stuff, you know. So
Mm.
I'm gonna because from me sitting and having the door open at the parks and stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So like I'm gonna get it detailed though, you know. Have them clean the inside and the outside, you know. Once the pollen's done completely. Um but yeah, there is. And I definitely need like a detailed job for sure, but I didn't want to do it until the oh, look at this. We got 12 people up in here, man. Tap that like button, subscribe to the channel. You know the vibes. If you're vibing with our channel, you know what I mean?
It's so interesting that you just want to deep clean your vehicle because that's literally what I just did with the van. I was like scrubbing
But
it, taking out the mats and everything. Yeah.
that's what I want to do.
Are we interested in history any period? I mean, I'm interested in like noticing the history, like galactic history, Earth history, and seeing how we're repeating things and shifting things. That's kind of the history that I'm interested in, and also the that our history or the myths that they say are actually our history. They're not really myths. Hi, Brittany. Welcome.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree. I agree.
yeah.
Um,
Oh,
I'm I'm just, I'm interested in I'm not necessarily into that type of history. I'm just into like history and uncovering the truths of like, humanity and No, not me. Maybe Luna is, but I'm no. I mean, I'm into like uncovering like that there is extraterrestrials and there is spaceships and there is like we are powerful and we have all these gifts and abilities and the pyramids and like how we have free energy and all these different things and how it was suppressed and to uncovering all of this stuff because I feel like history has just been manipulated, like big time and we've just been lied to, and
Mhm.
as to how powerful we are. So like the history books that they give you like in schools when you're kids is I feel like is all BS and it's just stuff to prevent us from realizing how powerful we are and we have telepathy and we have we can speak to spirit and why aren't they teaching us that stuff? You know what I mean? Like what I'm about to say, but I wanted to as a matter of fact, I was gonna try to text Presley. He told me to text him when we go live.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But I might
Hello,
disappear though.
fam.
Hey,
Okay.
cutie fam. Hopefully I don't lose the live, but let me.
I think you'll be fine. You'll just be a yeah, black screen for a second.
Was I still there?
Yeah. I mean, it's just a black screen, but you don't leave. You come right back. I don't know if we can hear you, but that's okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our live. Daren stepped into the shadow in our live.
You there?
Yes.
Did you lose me?
I mean, it just showed you as a black screen. I was just singing a song that you stepped into your shadow. But now you've come back to the light, Daren. See, it's just that easy, y'all. You just
Yeah,
step into your shadow, acknowledge it, and you can come right back. It's all good.
true that. True that. I mean,
Yeah.
I just texted him, so.
Hi, Dean.
Wow, we've been having a lot of people. Like I was live earlier today, and we had who was it? We had someone earlier that came on that was a mod that I haven't seen forever, and then we had
Aw,
Presley too.
yay.
Yeah, so we've been now Dean the God Machine's on here, boy. I haven't seen you in for ages, brother.
It's because we're being more consistent with our lives, Daren. Like we
Yeah,
will be here. How are
yeah.
you doing, Dean? How's everybody doing for that matter?
How y'all
I
doing?
am sleepy. I just transitioned to my other
Um,
home. I was with the kiddos for the past week and it was so much fun. It was so much fun. I had so much fun. We went swimming and I do like swimming, but I'm also when I went this last time, I forgot my bathing like, my actual bathing suit bottoms, so I had to wear my shorts that I was wearing, and, oof, if you are not wearing actual bathing suit material, it was so uncomfortable, I was like, I feel like I'm, like, wearing a diaper or something because
oh my god!
it was just, like, suction cupped to my body and, like, wet, it just felt so uncomfortable,
Wow.
and at the same time my kiddos and I laughed pretty much for 2.5 hours while we were in the pool. We were, like, making up these games, going down the slide, hanging out in the hot tub. They would not leave my side. Like, inches away from me and being like, "Mama, mama, 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 like, let's do this," and it was just so much fun.
Thank you, Dean, for showing some love, brother. Appreciate that, man.
Got off work early and seen you guys live, had to stop by and show some oh, yay! How was work? Was it good? Was it good? Good, good. Was it
I
Gouda?
appreciate I appreciate you, Dean. Swimming is awesome. I really miss the ocean, man. Like swimming in the ocean, man. For real,
Oh, yeah, this
you
is
know?
your sign. This is your sign to go swimming. I went to our community center to go swim, and they have
Yeah, I
family
mean they
and
have
open
they
swim.
have yeah, the Y has pools.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I just haven't done it yet because like, I just haven't.
Mm,
But I
mhm.
want to. Um Yeah, swimming is awesome. I love it. I miss it, you know. It really gives you a whole perspective on basically when you have something like available, readily available to you all the time, like the ocean was like 5 minutes from me, and then to having it now 3 to 4 hours, it's like, man, when you really realize
Mm.
when you have something and then it's got taken away, you know, or it's gone. You know what I mean? Like we tend to become complacent and um not have like we're like we get so used to the fact that it's there, and then when it's gone it's like, wow, like, oh my god, I didn't go I lived there for over 20 years, man. If I went to the beach 10 times, you know what I mean, and I was like 10 minutes from the beach, from any beach I wanted to go to, and they're beautiful beaches, and I barely went. I just complained, you know. So it's
Mm.
like it's really gives you a whole new perspective, you know, and like, yeah, it's just really interesting, you know, like, uh, yeah, I don't even know what to say about it other than I
Oh.
definitely have gratitude for everything that I do going forward, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, I
I don't know,
agree.
taking
Distance
things for
can make
granted,
the
that's the
heart.
word.
Dean just wrote, very true. Distance can make the heart grow fonder. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's part of it, and, you know, what was the word I said before you said that? Gratitude? No, I don't know. I lost what I was saying, but yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I love
Um,
the ocean too. I love standing in the waves and then just
yeah,
allowing
oh,
it
yeah.
to just push me back and forth as I stand there and hold my ground as it's cleansing me.
It's so
And
activating, man.
the sand, if it's soft sand, I'm running up and down in the sand. Ah, and like kind
Yeah,
of feeling like that burning sensation, when it's kind of hot and it kind of burns your feet. I love that.
we had, um we had, like, white sand in Florida. It was really, like, nice,
Mm.
like, you know? The beaches are gorgeous there, I can't deny it, and, you know?
Is
Um
Are there any beaches in North Carolina?
yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
There's Carolina Beach, there's the Outer Banks, there's,
Do they have
Wilmington Beach.
sand, and are they close
Yeah,
to you?
like 3 to 3.5 hours.
Oh, okay,
3
so it's a bit of a
Yeah,
drive.
3 to 4 hours, yeah, because, like, the closest one, I think, is Myrtle Beach, which is South Carolina, and there's a lot of restaurants and bars. It's more of, like, a touristy area.
Mm.
Yeah, that's where my friend was living that, you know of.
Mhm.
Not anymore, but she was. But, yeah, that's more touristy versus, like, the Outer Banks or, um, Carolina Beach but Myrtle Beach is probably, like, 3.5 hours, I think.
Mm.
And I'm the last time I was at the beach was Virginia Beach, which was 2022. It's a long time, man. And I didn't even go swimming in the ocean. I did put my feet in the water, but I didn't go because my dad's like, "We gotta go. We're only staying here for like 10 minutes."
That's a very short beach trip.
Yeah.
I I went to the beach last year and we camped near the beach and it was really nice. I think camping near the beach is by far my favorite. It is my favorite
Mm.
experience to have because you're outside, you're close to the ground, and then you can go hang out in the sand. Dean says
Yeah.
the little things, though, are so important to stop and take a step back and be
Yep.
mindful and grateful for them. Society
Yeah.
can make us overlook the little things a lot. Yes, I completely agree.
I agree, man. I agree, and, that's one thing that I'm so aware of. It's so important to me, you know, like, even being on this call with you, Luna, and being on with Dean and everybody, I'm present to it, you know? It's like that's
Mhm.
so important to me to be in the present moment in everything I do. If I'm not, okay, I'm not gonna judge myself for it, but the fact of the matter is I do want to be present in everything I do because, um, why would I be on this call if my mind is, like, thinking about something else I could be doing right now, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
then you're not even here. I'm not even here with you guys, and you can sense
Mhm.
that, you know?
It's like a body, but your energy and your soul is has, like,
Yeah,
shifted somewhere else. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Mhm. This speaking
That
of gratitude, what I've been doing multiple times with the kiddos, this week I've only done a couple times, but I made a point to write on sticky notes things that I was grateful for the whole week that we did together and wrote it for both my kids. So when they open their lunches, that they can see a note of like saying what mama's grateful for. Um,
mm,
and it's interesting, especially with kids, and we're all children really at heart, is when we step into gratitude and when we just think about just one thing that we're super grateful for, whether that's our breath or that we are able to take a pause or speak our truth, um, we immediately shift. Like my kiddos will be like, "Meow, meow, meow," like so grumpy, about whatever. And then when I ask them to tune into something that they're grateful for, then they will immediately shift and then they're like glowing and smiling and it's like that thing that they were focused on or maybe feeling is just released, or
yeah,
softened. So
yeah.
it's really neat.
Yeah, you know what I have to say about that? It's like going back to, like, living in Florida and having a pool 3, 4 pools in my neighborhood, and where I could literally just walk and they're empty and nobody's in them, and I could walk, like, to, like, 4 different pools in my neighborhood, you know?
Wow.
And never using them because, like,
Mm.
you always think like, "Oh, yeah, this is always available to me," you know, or you know what I mean? Like, when we have things always there, like even family members or parents or sisters and brothers or friends or a romantic partner, it's like it's very easy to, um, you know, become ungrateful because you have it there always. And it's
Mhm.
like, "Oh, yeah, my dad will be there forever," like, so then it's like you don't really, um what's the words I'm trying to get? Like, you don't really, you take it for granted. That's the word I was trying to use. I took the beach as being 10 minutes from me for granted. I took
Yeah.
having access to pools everywhere because it's like South Florida, you're near Miami and Fort Lauderdale, and that's what it is, like spring break all the time, you know?
Mhm.
And I took it for granted, and then it was really, really hard for me to leave in 2018, and then not having that access like I did, um, really makes you think about life and the things in life, and not even, like, forgetting about its material things because you can equate it to, like, a person or an animal, you know? Like, if that animal is
Mhm.
around you all the time, you take it for granted that they're there, and then before you know it, they're gone, and then it's like, you know? So, it's really opened my eyes leaving Florida, and I thought about that for years afterwards, you know, how I did take it for granted and how, um we do that, how easy we do that, like even taking your kids for granted, your parents for granted, your grandparents, whoever it is, and then
Mhm.
it's not forever. Nothing is. And so yeah, I just want to mention that it's like really something that has been shifted me big time to being grateful. Speaking of what you're saying, and having
Mhm.
gratitude for everything,
Yeah.
and another thing that I feel like I now take for I am grateful for is, like,
Mm.
summer and winter, like summer and spring, like, and then I'm like, "Oh my god, like, no, we're going back into winter," and I'm, like, trying to hold on to summer as long as I can, and it's
Mhm.
just like, that right there is, like, you only have a short period because it's, like, before you know it, it's winter again, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's like,
Yeah.
I soak up the spring and summer, like, and leading up to it, like, you would not believe, and I'm like, "Oh my god," like, like, I do not take it for granted, and because it's like when I was in Florida, it was hot 365 days a year. So it was like, it didn't matter. You would just complain about it because, like, oh, it's hot all the time, blah, blah, blah. You know, and now it's like you have such a short period, a short window. And I'm just like, no, man, like, I, like, yeah, the fact that you can wear shorts and, you know, go
You
ahead.
know, we can complain about anything, right? And also on the flip side, we can be grateful about anything as well. So it's like,
Yeah,
why are we to choose our blah, 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 blah. Why are we choosing to be ungrateful for something or complain about something? And then like look at that of like, is it a belief? Is it judgment? Is it like a feeling? Is it a belief? And it's usually both mixed together, right?
yeah,
To bring us back to the gratitude, while
yeah,
also acknowledging the choices and the belief system. Thanks, Dean. Thank you so much. I had a really
yeah.
nice Mother's Day with my kiddos. I played. I'll post this later, but I on Zebra, my eldest had her birthday party recently, and I got this free memory game. And it's from people all around the world, and there's just like these little faces, and they're really cute. And while we're playing it, I was like, "Hey, look, it's Daren!" And there was, like, a card that looked just like Daren.
I knew
I was like, "Look,
exactly which one too.
and I was like, "Look, it's me!" But with, like, my glasses and everything. Um, Yours is representative of the American Daren, and I'm representative of Norway. So, I'll post it later, so definitely look out for pictures, and you'll see what I mean. See if you can spot us in all the
I did
memory
spot it.
cards. I know you did. I'm just saying anyone that watches this. It was so funny. And my kids' memories are amazing. They are so good. They are so good. Um, yeah, I in my memory, I still need to work on. So I was literally, don't tell them to watch this live and don't tell them my secret, okay? I'm just gonna tell you, okay? Just between you and I, is that I would watch their body language, their eyes, where they would look when I would flip something over, if I knew that there was one somewhere else, and then they with their eyes, they'd tell me where it was. And I was like, "Ooh, they would not be good at poker." And then they'd be like, "Ah, mama, you got it." So, like, even though I didn't remember where it was, or maybe I was, like, distracted while they're, like or they're doing it too fast for me, I would see with my eyes. So I won a lot, but out of technique, not necessarily memory. But it was
Oh,
fun regardless, and we played 3 times. Um, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
yeah,
Hello, Karam.
I joined on the phone so I can, you
Oh, so
know,
you can chat with people. Dean
yeah,
says, "True, it reminds me of something I heard where it's like we can be in a bad mood for no reason. So why can't we be in a good mood for no reason?" Yes, right? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, it's so interesting, the whole, like, energetic sides of things mixed with feelings and figuring out why we want to feel a certain way, because it's all a choice and it's all, our belief system
mhm,
of us labeling something as a good or a bad experience, and then why? Why are we doing that? Why can't we just be neutral about it? Um, and then when we're at neutrality, what does that mean? That we're in peace, that we're in our heart, that everything just is. So it's like how can we keep coming back to that still point within ourselves of just being present, um, but also at the same time acknowledging when we're not, right? So then we could come back to that point of needing to process it or just witness it and let it go. Hi, Denise. Hey, Darren, do you want to do an activation on here since we're about halfway through and alive? What do you think?
um, yeah, I mean, we could, or do you want to have a discussion?
We could do a discussion. What do you want to do a discussion about?
Um, hmm.
Oh, I'm so sleepy.
Yeah, no, tell me about it. I was feeling that way too.
Wow.
When we did the
Happy
light language,
we did. If anyone missed it and you're on TikTok, you can go to Daren and Luna and we'll post our activation for forgiveness of just forgiveness in general and then forgiveness of self for making choices out of fear. So if that resonates with you, that'll be posted on our social media pretty soon.
yeah, I'm gonna download it and then put it up on. I've been posting a lot of them. Yeah, and by the way, Dean, just so you know, man, we are gonna be monetized, man. We actually hit the watch hours, so it's official, man. Everybody,
The 3000s, you mean?
yeah, we're over 3,000. Yeah, we're probably well over three now, but
Yeah,
uh,
exciting.
yeah,
Does that mean we could
yeah,
do super chats?
yep.
How do you do that?
Well, it'll just be in the option there. It'll be like there'll be a thank you button, but we have to apply for monetization once they give us the.
Oh,
Yeah, we have to wait till it actually reflects in the back end. Um,
Denise, we're not gonna call you that name. I'm sorry. I love you so much, though.
what is the
Dean
name they want us to
says
call them?
you can say it in your head.
I don't know what that means.
Woohoo! Hi, Dean. Yeah. I'm so
Yeah, I don't know
excited.
what.
We've been working
Uh-huh.
on our watch hours for such a long time. Like
Yeah.
such a long time. It's been a journey.
Uh,
We got a bunch of watch hours at the beginning and then YouTube changed this algorithm and we're just like,
no, you know
okay,
what? Let me say this. This is the discussion we're gonna have because it's perfect.
okay, let's do it. What's our
Because
discussion?
I was talking to Presley earlier on a previous live,
Mhm.
and you know what I thought about? Somebody mentioned this to me. I don't know if it was you or it was Presley or somebody else. But do you remember in January TikTok was going to get banned, and then Trump came into office and it was like a blackout for like one day or something like that, but then
Mhm.
it came back on. Well, I think what happened is because it was going on for like a good 6 months prior to January that we were like get making like 100 hours a day, and we had like 5,000 views on our lives every single day, if you remember. And even Presley remembers that, and he goes, Darren, I had to make modding a full-time job with your lives. And now it's like we're on here and there's like no trolls really at all, it's just like it's so different. And so I said to myself on that live this morning, what I kind of think actually happened is because I followed a couple creators that have millions of followers on TikTok. And last year, before the band, they were going live on YouTube all the time. Now they don't anymore. So what I was
Oh.
thinking actually happened
Mm.
is people 6 months ahead, they already knew TikTok might be getting banned permanently. And so I
Mm.
think they were a swarm of people left TikTok and were signing up at YouTube, and
Mm.
they had an influx of people. And then because ever since that ban was lifted and this year started, it has been just really suppressed.
Mhm.
And so I ask everybody on the lives, I'm like, how are your lives? And every single person says the same thing. Like Presley said it, Phoenix has said it. Everybody's saying the same thing. There's like barely anybody in their lives. It's not like it was last year. I really
Mhm.
think that a lot of people were leaving or going and opening accounts at YouTube, or even just using their accounts more. And now they're
That
not.
makes sense.
Uh, they were, and a lot of TikTokers were talking about it on their channels on TikTok, like, well, it's a good thing I have a YouTube channel, and it's a good thing I have a lot of followers on YouTube, and blah blah blah.
Mhm.
So that if they were going to get banned from TikTok, they had a backup plan.
Yeah.
and so I think that's what really that's the most thing that I can think actually happened, which I want to say this. Here's a perfect opportunity to say we're grateful because I'm grateful that gave us such a leg up on pulling like 100 hours a day in watch hours. It really got us to where we are even quicker, you know?
Mhm.
So for that, I'm so grateful.
Yes, I'm grateful for everybody that's watched our content and commented and liked or followed us. We really, really appreciate it because in my heart and my soul, I know that I'm here to support humanity, and
Oh, yeah.
that will shift and change as we get guided to. And yeah, I'm just so grateful for the engagement and the connections that we have built and created over the past year. Because it's coming up on a year that we've had this channel, which is so wild, Darren. It's
I
so
know.
wild that it's almost a year. I'm pretty sure it's May 25th is our official 1 year of our YouTube. So
Wow.
that's super amazing and exciting, and how much we've shifted to. You can see our video that we have of us telling briefly about like our mission or a goal or like our intention for this channel to now. Wow, we are
I know.
so different,
I
Darren.
know.
So
I know.
different. It's
And
yeah, it's wild.
yeah, and you know what? It's like my thing is I feel like as we get monetized, we're going to grow even quicker and faster and more people are going to know who we are, and that's really what's important to me. Like getting the messages out, activations, helping, supporting, helping humanity remember who they are and why they came here, all these different things which, you know, um and at the same time, this is what we were talking about earlier on YouTube. It's like it's kind of sucks also at the same time, and I'm allowed these feelings, because it's frustrating when you have people on TikTok that have millions of followers and they're like creating drama. But then somebody like a good example is like Lori Ladd. It took her like 7 years on social media just to get where she is on 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 YouTube with 180 something thousand followers, and you got people with millions and they're not using it in like a like a you know what I mean? It's like drama or it's just ridiculous crap that when you have somebody that's wanting to like change the plan and help, and it's so much harder to versus somebody. I used the word on the earlier live. I don't know if you know what this is. I'm gonna say it anyway, but Presley knew. Um, it's what the youngins use, okay? And so
Okay.
basically, like you see it a lot on TikTok, like thirst traps. You know what that is?
No, I don't. It sounds dirty word that you're saying.
Some dirty word.
It does,
Well,
Darren. What
this
does that mean? What are you
this is
saying on our live right now?
this is what a lot of the youngins use. Like if you go
Okay,
on to like
what's it mean that the
I'm gonna
youngins
say it. I'm
use?
gonna say it, but like if you go on like
Okay.
TikTok and mind you, guys and girls can do thirst traps, right? So basically, it's like let me see if Dean knows what I'm talking about before I say it. Dean, you know what a thirst trap is?
It's a really weird phrase and it sounds real dirty.
Look
Just
at
saying.
he gave the laughing face. You know what that is, Dean? You must know what it means because yeah. See, he knows. See, okay. Um, Maybe you want to explain it, Dean, or I'll explain it. Let's see if you can explain it to Luna, the definition of a thirst trap.
I mean, I could also look it up,
No,
but
don't look it up. Don't look it up.
just
It's
sounds
basic.
dirty. Like,
It's basic. It's basically like you'll go on a TikTok and
uh-huh.
a guy will have his shirt off and he's got like a six pack, and that's a thirst trap. Um, yeah, they're everywhere. So basically, you're half naked or something of that nature
Oh,
to gain.
so it's sex, um, they're selling sex, basically.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, in
yeah.
some
Am I
way,
right,
like or
Dean?
well, actually, no, they're selling lust is what they're selling. That's what they're selling.
Yeah, and
The
am I right,
physical
Dean?
body.
Yeah, so basically, like, they'll be on there and they'll be making, like, sensual faces, and they'll have no clothes, like, no shirt on, a guy, and he's got, like, his six pack out and whatever, and he's like, it's they call it thirst trap, like, so you're basically, doing that for followers,
They should call
kind
it
of
a
thing.
lust trap. That makes more
Usually
sense to me.
content that's promoting lust. There you go. He says the same
Yeah,
thing like you.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Just because that's what it is. It's like
yeah.
I'm gonna use my physical form that people would identify as attractive as a way to for you to watch my content. Which
That's
I can
what
always tell when people do that, and it really bothers me because 'cause I'm like,
yeah.
"You you're more than just your body. You're
Yeah,
a
well, that's
beautiful
what,
human."
a lot of the young kids that are like 20s and even 18, 17, 16-year olds, they're
Mhm.
doing it too, on
Hmm,
TikTok.
hmm.
So, yeah, young adults but that's like the younger generation, that's what they call it, and that's what they're doing. And that's a lot of the ways
I
that
love
a
that
lot
you
of
keep
them.
doing quotes around everything. That's what the young generation are doing.
Oh, yeah. And so
So funny.
that's like, how they have so many followers. Or even, like,
Yeah,
twerking, like a girl twerking, that's the
mm,
thirst trap right there too, you know?
yeah. I'm just gonna call it a lust trap. I'm just gonna call it what it actually is instead of this slang
That's fine, I
term.
mean, I'm just telling you what the lingo is that so
I hear
if you
yeah,
ever
I
hear it.
know, you're all about the young lingo, it's really funny. You know
Yeah,
what's interesting? My kiddos recently said, "I like my fit," and I was like, "That's a phrase that I actually know what it is because of, music or something that you and I were talking about." But, yeah, I don't know, that just intertwines with the over-sexualization of our society around
yeah,
men and women and children and how they're being advertised to,
yeah,
or, um advertised to in a way that makes people feel and take on the belief system that this is the only way that someone's going to listen to what I have to say or what I do or follow me by this energetic exchange of, yeah, lust. And it makes me feel really sad because everybody, no matter who they are, has something beautiful to offer, and their body doesn't need to be offered in that way to anybody. And that your body is sacred and beautiful and um,
yeah,
you can wear clothes and still be beautiful and have something wonderful to share and and it also is like under the mindset of like lack mentality too, right? Like the only way that I'm going to reach people is by going at this approach. um I and also like who are you wanting to follow you, who are you wanting to engage in your content, and are those the people who you're basically, like, objectifying yourself. Are you wanting
yeah.
those people who are mutually objectify or, like, in on the objectification to be in your circle of this energetic exchange? So,
You
it's
know what
very
actually oh,
interesting.
you know what
Oh, go
actually
ahead.
no, I was gonna say, like, to Dean's comment where he says it
Mm.
sucks because he's trying to desexualize his mind from lust and from lust trap, so he's actually now calling it lust trap, like you said. So,
Call it what it is.
well, the thing is, you know what I did, Dean, and I know you've been on my lives last year and stuff like that. And basically, I used to objectify women, and once I did semen retention and nofap, then for like over 2 years, and I got off pornography. That changed everything, and I got off all social media too because I couldn't be on anything. Like when I was actually going through withdrawals from it and I would go on Instagram and see some girl in a G-string or whatever. It's like you're trying to like, whatever, they're like shaking their butts or whatever, TikTok half naked. It's like the same thing as porn pretty much. So it
Mhm.
didn't really help me. So I had to pretty much get off of everything. I had to be off of YouTube and everything, and like basically just was not on anything. I deleted everything. So that now I look at like Luna or somebody else, like I don't see them as an object,
Mhm.
or like a means to get off or something, but I see it as, like them as a person with a personality, and it's so different. Um, I had to delete Insta for that
Instagram.
reason. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, and so I had to be basically like dopamine fast. Everything from even like foods, because at that time I went through what they call that stuff that you have like white on your tongue. I forget what they call it. It has to do with yeast.
Yeast?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
has to do with
Can
yeast. There's a name for it. Candida.
over can
You
yeah.
can't, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I had to completely change my whole diet. If anybody knows candida diets, man, you like eat nothing basically. Like you can have meat and stuff like that, but everything has to have no seasoning on it. You can't have sugar, you can't have carbs, nothing, like, and the food you eat has to be bland, because any of that stuff triggers dopamine. So they're intentionally, like, through the alerts on your phone, through swiping, that's all dopamine dumps. You're
Yep.
getting these massive dopamine dumps, which then you
Mhm.
start searching for crazier and crazier porn. Like, I started to look for stuff that you start like, it's not enough just 2 people having sex. You need to have more crazy stuff. Like, your levels start
Well,
going.
yeah. I mean, that's just for anything though. It's not
Well,
just for
yeah.
that. It's for
Well, drugs
anything.
too.
So
Yeah, yeah, anything. Yeah, you have to go
well, I
higher and
mean,
hi yeah, yeah,
when you get addicted to something, your body craves it, and then when you're at a certain level, you want to up the level.
yeah,
So
you need to
instead
up
of,
the level, yeah, yeah,
scrolling,
yeah,
for 20 minutes, next time maybe it's like 30 minutes or an hour.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then it continues until the habit's broken of an unmet need and an
yep,
uh, unheard feeling and a belief, And when those are accepted and acknowledged, then usually that patterning that is started to create can be, dismantled. But it's hard though, when
it
there's
was, I mean,
addiction
literally,
or
yeah,
patterns. Yeah.
yeah, but you know what, though? For me, though, it was it was somewhat easier because I had to do it with dairy from, like, 18 years old, and that was the most challenging thing in the '90s to, like, not eat dairy. And have to go out
Mm,
places, and everywhere you go, it's like everything had dairy in it, and we didn't have plant-based stuff, and we didn't have almond milk and different things, so that kind of, like, conditioned me more and more to be able to kind of be more, disciplined, I guess, you know? So then
mhm.
it, not to say it was easy, man, I'm gonna tell you, no fap and everything, man, I remember right before I started it, man, I was having addictions with it. I was like, I didn't wanna stop with the porn and stuff. It was very hard right in the beginning, and I just was like, "That's it," and then I it ended up, before I knew it, it was like over 2 years, and then it was like dopamine. It was like my food diet. It was like, but the diet, the candida was the catalyst, because I had to cut everything out that would trigger dopamine. So
Mhm.
yeah, but I
Yeah,
mean,
you had to
yeah, it's,
create your own, right? It's kinda like
yeah,
when
yeah,
like
yeah,
melatonin, a lot of people take melatonin to sleep, and our bodies naturally take it. However, if you give your body something that it naturally creates, then it stops creating it, and so then you have to figure out how to, um, create it, replicate it again when you take away that substance or
yeah,
that
and you go through
approach to
depression
life.
and everything too. You go through deep
Right.
depression and everything, man. I
Because
went
you
through
have
all that.
to allow your body to create those
Yeah,
chemicals, those natural chemicals within. Dean
yeah.
says, "Oh, hi, Umar. Hi, hi.
Hi,
I
Umar.
reflected on my battle with lust, and I realized it's really stemming from a desire of intimacy, love. You know what I think? I think that's true. And I would actually even stem, instead of saying intimacy and love, I really think it's connection. I
Yeah.
really feel addiction as well as depression, like everything that you can ever
With lack of
imagine
connection.
is connection. And
Yeah.
it's connection from self and it's connection from something bigger than you. And when we
Mhm.
don't feel that, then we will reach out in different ways, whether it's porn, whether it's scrolling, whether it's food, whether it's or any sort of relationship, just the sake of having a relationship, whatever it is to fit fill that need that we are craving, that's first internally, right? And then externally as well. So, yeah, and um I know I said this on one of my videos before, but there was a video that I watched about rats, and there was a rat that was in a cage by itself, and it had 2 waters, like, one of them had, like was laced with some sort of addictive drug, and the other one was just pure water, and the rat, of course, always picked the water with the drug in it, and then the scientist was like, "Wait a minute, this is not about the drug that's addictive, it's about the environment." So then he put this rat into like a rat park with a bunch of other rats, some fun things for it to do, like colorful games and toys, tons of food, tons of water. And he put again the water that was laced with something and then just clean water. And 100%, none of the rats wanted the water that was laced with anything. Why? Because they had connection, they had all of their needs met, they were having fun. And it's really like environmental too. Like, what's your inner environment and how is that reflecting outward, right? It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's so fascinating.
Yeah.
I know we're
And
not rats, but at the same time, it's like still the same concept.
no, it's the same thing. I mean, everything's energy, so it doesn't matter what
Yeah.
it is really, and I think that I always thought that if we were meant to be alone, we would be here by ourselves. We are by ourselves essentially because you are me and I am you and all that kind of jazz as well. But the fact of the matter is um, there wouldn't be other humans mirroring things to us or us having connections with or whatever if we were supposed to walk this earth alone you know um and the thing is I understand it because they do want us to be separate and divided because then that creates a level of control and fear. So so if they can sift into society like, oh yeah, like men are bad, they cheat, women are bad, they cheat, like, and create all this divide and everything, then people and then create like dolls and toys and different things so you don't have connection,
Hmm.
what I mean by that,
Replacements,
sex
right?
things. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Or
so
or or advertisements, that's out there like, "You just need this thing, and when you get this thing, it'll be so
yeah,
much better." And
yeah,
that is a huge belief system within our society. "If I
oh
just
yeah,
get this car, everything will be better. If I just get this right
yeah,
relationship, everything will be better."
yeah, yeah,
But that just need this right thing is really internally. It's not something externally you can buy or find outside of yourself. It's really inside yourself, which is so cliche. And when people would tell me that before, I would just like look at them and be like, yeah, okay, like
yeah,
whatever. But
yeah,
it is true.
yeah,
Everything that you are searching for outside of yourself will never ever meet up to your internal need and what you're feeling and wanting and desiring. That if you are really searching for something that's externally, it's like, well, what how can you feed that need or that desire within yourself first
mhm,
before
mhm,
looking for it externally? Because there's usually a belief system is intertwined with that of like this need that you have to have that someone else has to feed or provide for you, because really we're complete, we're whole, we're these magnificent multidimensional beings that are here at this time, and we can tap into that energetic and that field anytime that we want.
yeah, like
So
self-love,
it's yeah. Yes, like giving yourself, I do this all the time. Like whenever I'm having a hard time, I give myself a hug, like a huge hug, and just be like, I got this. It's okay. Yeah, it's hard right now, and I hear your fears or I hear your judgment or I hear like this or that, and we've got this. Everything is working out. Even if it feels like it's not, if it feels like things are falling away or weird or odd, um, because there's so much that's happening at the same time that we cannot conceptualize, and we're not supposed to as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, it all amounts to denying ourselves love, and like giving to everyone else, but not giving to yourself, not filling your cup before you fill other
Mhm.
people's cups for them, and that's just
Mhm.
denying self love, and um, I mean, at the end of the day, we have to pour into ourselves before we can pour into others, and it's the most vital thing because, as I said, I am what's the word, like, re- um, a survivor of that in my family, lineage, and I saw what it does to you when you deny yourself love and when you give to others and not give to yourself. It just ends up in disease in the body, So it's like it's clarity starts at home. Yeah, amen, brother. Wow, that's a good one. I like that quote. Wow. Um, yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, man, it's just we're learning every day, and uh, I think that society is deprived of connection, and everything is based off of sexuality and sex and lust and objectification and all of that, and like Luna said, um, well, I'll get when I get this, or when I move here, or when I do this, or I get this house, or I get this job, or then I'll be happy. Then I'll be at this place when I have the $1 million, or and it's the same thing as running from yourself.
Mhm.
Like I found that I was running for myself majority of my life, and until people kept telling me you can only run so much in your life, you can only run, you can't run forever. That's what I was told in 2018 by my chiropractor in Florida. You cannot run forever. And I literally didn't even realize what the hell I was like, that I was actually running for myself. And I didn't even know necessarily what that meant. And when he said that, man, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, whoa, now I understand what the hell he's talking about, because I literally was at rock bottom, and then I came to North Carolina before we actually moved. I came here for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, "Whoa, like nothing has changed. I still am at rock bottom, and I'm in another place, and nothing has changed." And even my sister told me, she goes, "Daren, you can't go to another state, you can't go to another place. It's not gonna change anything unless you change inside yourself." Right?
Mhm.
And then I'm like, "Holy crap. Like, what am I doing moving?" Like, because I'm moving and nothing's changing. And I started like that's when I started to really spiral and freak out. And I'm like, "What am I doing?" And I thought that, "Oh, once I move, everything's gonna change and I'm gonna shift and it's gonna like all be unicorns and rainbows," and it wasn't, you know? And so it really woke me up big time, you know what I mean? And to realize that switching and moving places and buying this and buying that or getting this or getting that doesn't change a damn thing, you
There's
know?
so much buyer's remorse that I've, like, witnessed in my
Oh yeah.
lifetime of
Yeah,
someone
me
being
too.
like, "I'm just gonna buy this car and it'll just be amazing," or, "I'm just gonna buy this new iPhone and everything's gonna be so much better." Um, and it's it's like you're trying to buy happiness that's internal that you can't,
Yep.
there's no price tag for it, and yet that's what is projected out within our realm of, yes, if you buy this pencil with this fun little doobly dob at the end, your life will shift forever. It's your
Yeah.
magical wand, and really
Yeah.
that magical wand is just, yeah, internally.
The
The insight is
consumerism, you know?
yes. We gotta be here for each other and throw aside all the labels and separation. Yes, yes, yes. Ooh, charity starts at home. Peace of mind is priceless. Yeah. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
I I'm all about community and connecting and hanging out with people and being present with everybody and just being here right now with whatever it is because that is how you make the stronger bonds within yourself and other people. And then you're projecting that frequency out of like, this is what I'm desiring and this is what I'm wanting. I don't need to, buy something or do something externally.
yep,
I'm just
yep.
going to represent it in this now moment of what I'm calling in. And that
I did that,
is
and then I ended
amazing.
up with, like, 20 containers filled with shit that I couldn't do anything with, that I carried throughout most of my life, and
Yeah.
then just basically gave it all to Goodwill, so, yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
you know? So, yeah, it's, yes, community and key to shifting society, yes, and I feel like that's what the future is of humanity, you know? Communities all over the place that were, like, connecting, and we're supporting one another, and we're, just uh, living out what our purpose and passions are, Not to say that we're not
Mhm.
going to have like things that come up or feel different things or feel emotions or whatever, because we did come here for like the contrast, and we did come here to experience both sides of the fence. But at the same time, as we elevate our consciousness, I feel like we're not gonna be playing in this low level shit like manipulation and all of that kind of stuff. Not to say that we're not gonna have other challenges that we're gonna be facing. Just gonna be on a different level. Um,
Mhm. I feel like
uh,
it's gonna be less extreme
yeah,
is where it's going. Just like I was
yeah,
talking about earlier. So 2 weeks ago, or a little over 2 weeks ago, I purchased a car from fear. I was terrified of this person and the energy of fear that they were projecting at me. And I was like, I was on, to be honest, I was like really afraid that he was going to hurt myself and the person that had come with me. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I bought this car and finally figured out, yay, what was wrong with it, even though he said nothing was wrong with it. And then the past week, someone else came forward that was in a lot of fear. I don't know what their fear was, but something. And I felt it, but it was less intense. So 2 weeks ago, or over 2 weeks ago, it was so strong. I like literally felt like I was suffocating. I was like, oh my gosh, like it was so hard for me to like process and be. And then this time it was like I felt it in the area that it was sent to is in one of my lower chakras, and then it kinda just moved, and then I processed it a lot later, but it wasn't as intense, and that's where I feel like we're going, that the frequencies that we'll be at, other people will be around them, and so be able to witness them, they'll be able to interact with us if it's in alignment and is needed, but what they're going through won't necessarily affect us in the same way.
mhm,
Like the
mhm,
typical label of empathy, where we sometimes will take on their stuff instead of having this beautiful energetic boundary that, of course, is needed and healthy. That it'll just be, oh, they're feeling sad, and we could tap into that, but we don't take on their sadness. We don't take on anything. Our energy is not manipulated in that way anymore that and I'm being reminded of when Archangel Michael was channeled by one of my friends a while ago, that instead of us being in the lake, which is the 3D realm, which is the water that's stagnant, you know, has algae growing, who knows what else is at the bottom of the lake. And we're going more towards the rapids. And so we'll still engage with the lake energy that's like stagnant, but we'll no longer be in the lake. We'll be more witnessing the lake of like, oh wow, like look at that algae over there. Oh, look at that like weird sock and like boot that's like floating. How long's that been there? You know? And we just won't engage in the same way, which is so cool. And I feel like I recently witnessed that, like just a little taste of it of wow, I could feel this person's energy. and I'm still processing, like, how maybe I've, like, engaged with that in some way, or, like, what's mine that I need to work through, right?
Mhm.
And at the same time, I feel like at some point, yeah, it'll just be like a little touch of like, "Ooh, that feels hot," or, "Ooh, that feels cold," but it's not to the point of, "Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm burning or suffocating anymore." Does it Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's kinda
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, can you hear me still?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I agree, and then, I also wanna say that, I
Mhm.
think that we're going to as we go up, there's gonna be people are gonna realize that there's no need for manipulation and greed is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Or
I
these
think
lower
manipulation's good, it's just how you use it because everything's manipulated. We're manipulating our vocal cords by talking, but it's more
yeah,
of
but
manipulation against someone's will. Is that what you're
yeah,
talking
like,
about? Okay.
or, manipulation and, like, like, manipulating someone into something that, or, like, like they're kind of doing already with social media, with the television and programming and different things, so that's manipulation in a non-heart-centered way.
Right.
That's
I hear you.
that's
Mhm.
so, like, I feel like all of that stuff is leaving because as we go higher, that stuff is at a lower vibration that we're just not gonna be at any longer, you know?
Mhm.
There's gonna be and I feel like people are gonna start realizing that we're all one and we're all connected and we're not separated, separate and we're not divided and, because I always thought about, um, man, if everybody just put all our resources together, just like Dean said in that one message, it took a community to put together a temple or a great project. It's like, you know, when you do a meditation, it's so much more powerful when you're with a group than by yourself. It's like all of it is granted, I'm not going to say like you don't need alone time. Everybody does. Like we all do, Like sometimes you don't want to be with a crowd of people. Sometimes you want to be by yourself. You know what I mean? But like the aspect of seeing everybody separate and like I have to gain my own wealth. I have to have 10 cars and a mansion and 20 houses and you know what I mean? Whereas if we put all our resources together, you know how powerful this whole planet would be versus
Mhm.
where we're at now, or where
Mhm.
we have been. There wouldn't be any homeless people on the street. There wouldn't be any of it. We would all be supporting one another and doing and living our purpose and what we're passionate about, you know? But I do believe we have to see this shit for what it is so that we can move through it and get to the other side, and which is the golden age and the age of love and the golden era which everybody talks about. So as hard and difficult and challenging it as it is to see the trafficking stuff and all this stuff that's going to be coming out, um, because now the P guy, DIDDY, is now going on trial. So, literally it's going to start coming out, all this stuff. So, this is going to be the time when now it's in our faces, to finally stand up and say, we're not going to take this shit anymore. We're not standing for this. This is our planet, and we're taking it back, and we're going to be the guardians of the planet Earth, and never allow it to ever happen again. You know, and that's why a lot of us went through this to see and to experience such contrast to be like, no way in hell am I going to put up with this ever again. You know what I mean? Like you're actually going to stand in your power and know the f you are, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. Dean says exactly. That's why the opposition fears us because we are powerful beyond imagine.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes. And especially um there's like power in numbers.
yeah,
So
yeah,
the visual that I'm getting, which is like such a powerful image that I saw on social media, was, the leader or like a president or like a leader person, standing with a whip and then all the people bowing. And then one person stands is like the next one. And then the next one is like four people stand. And then everyone's standing and then that person's bowing because when
Yeah.
and it's like potent and powerful. It's like, don't listen to that inner critic is like one thing that I'm hearing. And then also don't listen to people that say they're in power because really we are in power. We, the
Yeah.
people, are in power. We get to choose and decide how this world is created. We get to choose and decide what how everything unfolds, what we think about ourselves, how the earth is, how it operates, how we operate. Like we get to create that right now. And the
Yeah.
systems that are in place are literally being dismantled as we speak. Um, and it's just, yeah, it's just an illusion. It's just an illusion. They've been on the stage playing these parts, their roles, to convince us of something because they benefit from it.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily mutually beneficial um, in the way that we desire, right? Because there's like
Yeah.
it's always everything's always beneficial to a degree of like, oh, I just learned I feel this way about this, or I just learned this belief. And at the same time, it's like we can learn that, but it doesn't mean we have to keep going down that path and accept that this is the trajectory, this is our life, this is what must unfold. So,
Yeah. Amen.
yeah,
Now
but
we're
like
taking
the
the planet
phoenix,
back.
yeah, but like the phoenix will rise from the ashes. Yes, 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 yes. Hi, Victor.
Hi, Victor.
Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We'll be back next
Monday.
Monday. If you want to hang out with us earlier, we're always on TikTok an hour earlier, um, 10 to 11 Pacific.
Plus, you may see us live in general, at some point, right?
But that's okay. And yeah, we typically on either of the lives do a light language activation. Today we did it on TikTok.
Yeah, but I'm
And
saying we go live too, like randomly throughout the week. You may go live, I
yeah,
may go live,
mhm.
we may go live
and if
together.
and if you want to be in our energy more, there's so much more information. You can join our newsletter, go to darenandluna.com and find all the information there. Darren's about to host, well, I'm going to co-host with him a Breathwork series that happens on the 24th and 31st. So if you want to know more about that, again, go to darenandluna.com, click on quick links. All the information's there. We'd love to have you if it resonates. And we love you. Oh, thank you, Dean. Thank you so much
Thank you,
for being
Dean.
here. I love you. And
Thank you,
anyone
Dean. Love
else
you
that watched
both.
our live now or in the future or the past, I love you. And
Yeah,
I hope that
yeah,
you have a good Monday.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Love you.
Love you.